Hello everyone, welcome to Tech Bytes Go. This video we are going to cover Kubernetes tutorial for beginners. Basically, introduction to Kubernetes involves understanding its core concepts, functionalities, and how to get started with it. Kubernetes is an open source platform designed to automate deploying, scaling, and operating application containers. It groups containers that make up an application into logical units for easy management and discovery. Let's dive into a beginner-friendly tutorial to help you get started with Kubernetes. To understand Kubernetes concepts, it's crucial to understand some fundamental concepts of Kubernetes. Firstly, pods is the smallest deployable units created and managed by Kubernetes. A pod represents a single instance of a running process in your cluster and can contain one or more containers. Secondly, services is an abstract way to expose an application running on a set of pods as a network service. With Kubernetes, you don't need to modify your application to use an unfamiliar service discovery mechanism. Kubernetes gives pods their own IP addresses and a single DNS name for a set of pods and can load balance across them. Thirdly, deployments is manage the deployment and scaling of a set of pods and provide declarative updates to applications. You describe a desired state in a deployment, and the deployment controller changes the actual state to the desired state at a controlled rate. Finally, Kubect is a command line tool that allows you to run commands against Kubernetes clusters. You can use Kubect to deploy applications, inspect and manage cluster resources, and view logs. Let's have a look how to set up a Kubernetes cluster. For beginners, the easiest way to start experimenting with Kubernetes is to use Minikube. Minikube is a lightweight Kubernetes implementation that creates a VM on your local machine and deploys a simple cluster containing only one node. To install Minikube, follow the official Minikube installation guide to get it set up on your system. Once Minikube is installed, start it by running Minikube start command. To verify that your cluster is up and running by executing kubect get nodes command. Let's have a look how to deploy your first application. Deploy your first application on Kubernetes with the following command: kubect create deployment nginx image equals nginx. This example uses a basic nginx server. To expose the deployment, by default, the pod is only accessible by its internal IP within the Kubernetes cluster. To make the nginx container accessible from the outside world, you need to expose it as a Kubernetes service with the following command: kubect expose deployment nginx type equals node port equals 80. Finally, find out the URL to access your nginx server Minikube service nginx URL. So far we have seen setup and deploy an application. Next steps, we are going to go through scaling and updating the application. We can easily scale your application by changing the number of replicas in your deployment with the following command: kubect scale deployment nginx replicas equals 3. Kubernetes allows you to perform a rolling update to your application seamlessly. For example, update the version of nginx to use a different version of the image with the following command: kubect set image deployment or nginx equals nginx 1.16.1. To verify the rollout, check the status of the rollout to see if the update was successful by executing kubect rollout status deployment or nginx command. Finally, Kubernetes is a vast ecosystem with a lot of concepts and functionalities to explore. Here are some suggestions for further exploration. Learn about persistent volumes and persistent volume claims for managing storage. Explore config maps and secrets for configuring your applications. Understand how to use ingress controllers to expose your services to the outside world. Kubernetes offers extensive documentation and community resources to help you along the way. Don't hesitate to dive deeper into specific topics as you become more comfortable with the basics. Thanks for watching Tech Bytes Go.